Kirby, old friend. Welcome to Chamber Chat. Pleasure to have you, my
It's
friend.
great to be here.
Hey, tell the folks who you are and who you represent.
Well, my name's Kirby Kazeil, and I own SUDS Full. My wife and I and our family own SUDS Full Service Car Wash. We've been in the city now since it's 20 years now. Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah. 2003, August of 2003, we opened up.
And it's an iconic building on the corner of Winnipeg and Dewdney,
And
right?
Dewdney, yeah.
Right. Oh, that's honestly, how did you get into it? How did you discover that Regina had a void in a simple thing called car washing?
Well, fair enough. Good, and really quite by accident. I'm being honest about it.
Okay, good.
It was a property that I owned that was vacant, and was in fact trying to sell it. And,
serious?
Yeah. And I went to the Grey Cup in 2002.
Okay.
And
where was that? In Calgary?
In Edmonton.
Edmonton. Oh, Edmonton. Okay.
Shania Twain was playing at halftime.
Okay, fair enough.
I think that's why I went. Anyways, and the funny thing is, I actually had an offer on that property when I left Edmonton.
Right.
And I said, well, I was going to have to wait till I get back next week. And when the building was vacant, and we have 4 daughters. We'll
Right.
talk about that later, perhaps. But the youngest, the twins, they were like 5 years old. And let me shut my phone off. And
Yeah,
we would visit that site every couple of weeks because it was vacant, just to check on it. But in that site, there was some old freezer curtains.
Yeah.
And while I was walking around the building, they would roll themselves in a chair through these freezer curtains.
The girls.
Pretending they're in a car wash.
Okay, fair enough.
And I had to take them all the time because we had 4 kids. They're all 4 under the age of 5. So the rule was if one of us went somewhere, you had to take at least 2 of them. So I always took the twins.
Yeah.
Anyways, not to make the story too long.
No, I love it. Yeah.
We get to, I'm in Edmonton,
Yeah.
and my mom lives there. She had invited me to come to go to the Grey Cup with her. So I thought I'd take her car out and get it washed for her while I was there. Why not?
Nice son.
Nice thing to do as a son. So I was actually at the car wash, and Natalie calls me and says, "Where are you?" I said, "Well," and whatever, we chatted. She goes, "The twins, Kendall and Kennedy, want to talk to you."
Yeah.
So Kendall gets on the phone and she said, "Where are you, Dad?" I said, "Well, Dad's at the car wash." She got very upset. "Why didn't you take us?" Because
she wants to do the car wash.
At the building. And it hit me right at that moment. I'm not going to sell this building. I'm going to put a car wash in that building.
That was your eureka moment.
That was it. Boom, right there. A 5-year-old kid planted that seed in my head in Edmonton. Came back, got home Monday, killed the deal that they had to offer on.
Right.
And that was like November 2002, whenever that Grey Cup was. And we opened up August 15th, 2003. So, yeah.
What a brilliant story. I love that.
Yeah.
So how did you actually, the concept that you put into Regina was really new to Regina, but maybe not new elsewhere. Did you research that, or how did that come about?
Well, I visited a bunch of different sites, and they all did things differently. Most of them took appointments. But I thought, people kind of I don't know if appointments are a good idea.
Right.
Because I'm a non-appointment guy, right? When I want something, I just want it.
Yeah.
So I'm basically trying to cater to me as a customer.
Yeah.
And I'm probably a tough customer, right? And so basically I took a bunch of pieces from different car washes. And a lot of the guys in the industry said you can't do full detailing, shampoo and stuff with no appointment. You'll never do it, right?
So you pioneered that.
Well,
in a way.
In a small way, I think. I mean,
that's fantastic.
Most places do interior cleaning, small cleans.
Yeah.
But you have to book in like a full clean.
So you leave your vehicle for a day or whatever it is, right?
Book it in, bring it in at 11 o'clock. We're all on demand, everything, while you wait for anything. So you got a destroyed vehicle, like 5 dogs, 4 cats, 10 kids, and you got a wedding the next day. We'll
get it done.
We'll get it done.
Without an appointment.
Without an appointment. So our biggest claim to fame, other than hopefully our reputation and our service, is no appointment necessary.
Interesting. And you've actually put some new equipment in the last few years too. Tell us about that.
We continually reinvest in the business and upgrade the property, cosmetically and with new equipment. So we always are operating with the latest equipment, with the latest technology.
It's like a rock show when you're going through that car wash.
It's a bit of a rock show, right? And others kind of, so that's sort of become a norm now a little bit, right? So, but we just keep adding new products all the time. Right?
And as you know, I'm a customer of yours, and I love your service.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and there's many of us, but the experience of of driving through the car wash, and then I leave the vehicle for you when I would do full interior clean. Because I can go there and actually just get the outside cleaned, right?
Correct.
And that takes me at most 20 minutes, right?
Even on a busy day.
Yeah, even on a busy day. But if I leave the vehicle there, I can actually sneak in, and you've got Wi-Fi. Tell us about that whole experience, because if we're doing the interior, I got to leave it with you for a bit.
Yeah, and still probably 75% of our customers wait for their vehicle.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sometimes, depending on how busy you are, it can be a half an hour. In the springtime, it's sometimes 2 hours, right? It's very busy.
Depending on the day.
Depending on the day.
Yeah.
But generally about an hour. We always say you're in and out within 90 minutes, the average vehicle. Cleaner cars are obviously quicker and so on. But there's coffee, there's comfortable seating, fireplaces on, we got Wi-Fi. It's you would never expect, if you've never been to the car washes, well, we have a comfortable waiting area. Everybody says they have a comfortable waiting
exactly.
area. But we truly have quite a very comfortable waiting area.
I know myself, I go in there and I do my emails, and before I know it, they're calling me and say your vehicle's done. So it's a brilliant experience. One of the things I also noticed too is how many people you employ. How many staff do you have at SUDS?
Well, we have 42 full-time staff.
42 full-time staff.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And so where do you find all these people?
Well, we about 15 years ago, there were some new Canadians came in that the church they had arrived as refugees. The church had brought them in.
Right.
And we hired maybe 15 or so at that time, who are mostly all still with us today, by the way.
Isn't that crazy? So your turnover is actually pretty impressive.
For a car wash, it should be high, and it's super, super low. Yeah. And so anyways, now some of their kids are working for us, or their wives it's crazy, but we are never, the biggest challenge in business today is staffing.
Right, HR component.
HR, huge.
Yeah.
Ours, it's right on the bottom of our problem list.
Well, Kirby, that's got
So it's nice.
Yeah,
it's a blessing, you bet.
Absolute blessing, but it's got to say something, Kirby, about your management style. Tell us about that.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
like what kind of style would you do? How would you describe your management style?
Well, I think my wife is probably, is good balance for me. Yeah. But, I'm involved and I'm helping them in their lives however they need it. Some guys are trying to finance houses.
Yeah.
We've helped people finance houses, buy cars.
That's how you keep them, right?
Yeah. And, we pay them well. Like, we don't, we charge our customers accordingly for the service.
Right.
But we pay our guys a living wage. So,
perfect.
I mean, if you're paying somebody, minimum wage or whatever, you're never going to keep those people. You're never going to have any consistency in your product. And when you leave in your vehicle, I can't check every car myself.
Right.
You need your staff to do that. So that's how you get a good product, is by paying a living wage for someone.
Yeah.
And they have health benefits and such. So wouldn't it be your typical employment package at a car wash?
Right.
Yeah.
But you're proud of that, aren't you?
Totally.
Yeah.
So your car wash is maybe $20 more than it could be if I was paying minimum wage or something. But there's no win there.
No, and actually most people pay for the service, right?
Happily.
Yeah.
I always say, in the absence of service, you want price.
Right.
But if you have great service, price is.
But you're creating value for the money.
Absolutely.
Right.
And our staff is creating value for the money.
Because they're very friendly.
They're very friendly.
Yeah.
The car is very clean.
Yes.
And, the level of quality we have today that we had 20 years ago, or 15 or 10, every year.
Yeah. It's so impressive.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
Well, you've done something that you should be very, very proud of. And I think, knowing you for a while and your family, you got to be proud of your family, because this is truly a family-run organization.
Totally.
Tell us about the benefits of that, and there's some downside too. There's no doubt. Right?
There's some scraps, believe me. Believe me. More than I think of the twins that actually they've quit more than once or twice on me, believe me, and then they're okay by the time we get home or something. But working with your family is what I wouldn't. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Right.
And with that, there's obviously we joke about scrapping and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, we scrap. You bet we do. But it's great being together every day. I love it.
But
I
there's
wouldn't change it
there's
for
a
anything.
care factor. I'm fortunate enough to work with some family too,
Yes.
right? But it's interesting that most business people will say to you, "Well, you don't want to work with family or good close friends." Do you agree with that statement?
I don't agree with that statement at all.
Yeah.
And you do hear that a lot. Oh,
Right.
never hire your kids or
Yeah.
work with your family. That's all I care about is my family.
Yeah. So if you can incorporate them in the work, so you think about our province, right? It comes, we're an agri-based province, and the family farms, we're truly family farms.
Family farms.
But you can think of those as corporations, and really, it makes sense to
Yeah.
actually work with family if you can, right?
If you can.
Yeah.
I think, don't avoid it. I think it's the best thing in the world.
So 4 daughters, right?
Yeah.
And you have grandchildren now?
2 and 1 on the way.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
right
thank
on.
you. Yeah.
That's you don't even have enough gray hair to.
Well, I got to have fair share.
You got good hair though. I can
A
tell
lot
you.
of hair. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow.
So tell me, Kirby, about prior to the car wash. What were you doing prior to that? Were you an entrepreneur at that time too?
I always was an entrepreneur, and I
Yeah.
had, and then for a period of about 8-9 years, I worked for Rogers.
Oh, okay.
So I was
Yeah.
a corporate guy for 8 or 9 years, and I enjoyed it. It was time, and I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and have my own business after
Right.
that. It was great training, amazing people,
Yeah.
amazing company. Meeting with back then. I remember when we celebrated 100,000 subscribers and then 500,000 subscribers. It's like cellular phone
Right,
subscribers.
exactly.
Think about 500,000
Yeah.
then. It was a very small company.
It was a big deal then.
Oh yeah,
right?
you get to meet with not on a regular basis, but 2 or 3 times have meetings like with guys like Ted Rogers, who's
Yeah.
quite a pioneer, obviously.
So you met Ted
Absolutely,
Rogers? Tell
yeah.
me about that.
Well, pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
I remember he came to Regina once, and he's always surrounded by the VPs and the presidents and everything, right? But then what he does, he gets you in a corner
Yeah.
or in your office. He says, "Okay, these guys are gone. Tell me what the problems are here in Saskatchewan."
So you get right down to the brass
Yeah,
tacks.
what do you guys need? Because these guys are always lying to me. And so he would, you'd say, "Listen, well, we have." But back then, we really had pretty poor coverage. I think everybody can,
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
and
it
everybody
was
knew
tough.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, well, really, like where we are, we could just be, if we could be the best, that would be helpful. We can't have all these sites that Sastel has, but I said, certainly, if we could be really good in these areas in the cities where where we have some customer base, but, we just can't get the budget. And, by the next morning, the phone would be ringing and you'd be in trouble. And in a month, there'd be cell site construction started. So
Actually worked.
worked every time.
Ted got things done.
Ted got her done.
You must look at that organization and just shake your head at how big they are now, eh?
Oh yeah, think about when I was with him then. Like now, it's just unreal.
It's amazing.
And his vision was just the guy was such a visionary, right?
Right.
He always said to me, he would say to a group, he'd say, "If it ain't broke," and people would say, "Don't fix it."
You're right.
No,
Well-
he would say, "If it ain't broke, break it."
If it ain't broke,
Break it.
And what he meant by that is it can be better.
It can be better
So do you do that at SUDS now?
all the time.
Interesting.
Like that was, 25 years ago I
Right.
worked for Rogers. And that line of his has stuck
Yeah.
with me
It
every day.
resonated. Yeah.
And it still does. If it ain't broke, break it.
Yeah. So you're constantly doing that, and that's that continuous improvement,
That's a
right?
continuous improvement. Right now in car wash, everything's working great.
Right.
But it was working great 10 years ago too.
Exactly. But that's how you stay ahead of it,
That's how
right?
you stay ahead of the curve. Yeah.
You can
so-
teach a business class. You know that, eh?
I don't know about that, but he was a pretty cool guy to work
Oh
for.
no
Yeah.
doubt.
Anyway, that's a quick story about
Yeah.
Ted Rogers.
Yeah,
but-
I love it. That's a
Yeah.
great story.
yeah.
I know you commute every day, and there's a lot of people in Regina that own businesses in Regina that actually don't live in the city proper. Is that work in your favor? You're in Strasbourg, right? Or
Yeah, we just live south of Strasbourg.
south of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And commute every day.
Yeah, I'd love the drive.
Why is that?
Just like the morning, I literally look, people say, how do you drive, 40 minutes every day, each direction? Because it's the best part of my day, is
'Cause-
driving in. Just
No.
you get time to think, and sometimes radio on, sometimes radio
I
off.
was going to say it's windshield time, right?
It's windshield time, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's 15 phone calls,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's phone off and just silence, whatever.
Thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best part of my morning is driving in.
And it doesn't mean you're not dedicated to the city of Regina.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah,
no.
because you
No.
are.
We're fully dedicated to
So
the
your
city.
your organization, I know, gives back to the community. Tell us a little bit about that, because that's important to you, right?
We give back wherever we're able to.
Yeah.
You know, however we can support, you know, functions and the capacity that we're able to, right?
Right.
We are there. And mostly we really help, we are really supportive of nonprofits and people that do work on the street,
Right.
like
Right.
Salvation Army, for instance,
Yeah.
and such, right? People that really deliver a service. And so there's all kinds of these people, you know, outfits that operate in the cities that people don't even know about.
Yes.
You know, they're taking care of homeless people or shelters for women. There's all kinds of them. So we do whatever we can for any of them at as much as possible, right? So, you know, it's kind of like under the radar. It's not stuff where we got our name on a big
Yeah.
sign somewhere.
But I like that. It's about. I've always said that if you live in a community, you must give back to the community in which you live, right?
Absolutely.
You believe that too.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And we give back to the Regina community.
Yeah.
And even in the community where we live, like Strasbourg,
Yeah.
you know, I like to think we do our fair share there
Good
too.
citizens
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely. Yeah. Community is important, right? Family,
It's everything.
community.
Family, community, right?
Yeah.
And your business, you didn't name business first, did you?
I'm sorry?
You didn't name the business first. You said family, community, and then the business is part of it,
Yeah.
but it's not first.
Just the vehicle,
It's the vehicle.
right? You got to make
Yeah.
a living.
Yeah,
How do you get in front of people? How do you meet people? How do you do things like this?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
vehicle,
Exactly.
right?
So tell us about some of the associations. I know you belong to the Chamber, of course. That's why you're here. But
Sure, yeah.
those organizations that you belong to, that the importance of that, can you kind of extrapolate on that?
Well, I think all of the organizations that you belong to, including like the Chamber,
Yeah.
I mean, they all play a role, you know, in facilitating different aspects of business, you know, right across the board, right? And so a lot of people say, well, I don't know what do they do for me, right? They all do something. They all serve. They all have value. They all
Right.
serve a purpose. So it's good to support them and be members of them, right? And these things happen. Like there's people fighting on our behalf all the time, whether it's like this CFIB, you know, taxes, or beating the government up all the time. You have
Yeah.
to have people, fighting on your behalf, because you can't fight all those fights all the time, right? And things like this, like what the Chamber's doing with these particular podcasts now.
Yeah,
Maybe if it ain't broke, break it.
yeah.
One guy
That's-
hears that.
That's what they're doing.
One person
Yeah,
changes
yeah.
their way of doing business. Hey, that was cool. Then that's great value. That's worth being a member for right there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's
You
absolutely
don't
true.
have to hit home runs every day,
No,
right? Singles add up.
they sure do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So I
So-
think like these membership programs like that you belong to as
Yeah.
a member, they're like, not home runs, but they're singles, and that's what gets you there. I'm a big believer in hitting singles is way better than hitting
Yeah,
home runs.
that's right. It doesn't have to be out of the park every time.
No,
Right?
no.
And too many people that's the old get rich quick routine. It doesn't happen, does it?
No.
Yeah, slow-
And meanwhile,
slow
while
and
you're
steady.
trying to hit a home run,
Yeah.
my guy hit 4 singles.
Yep.
I'm already 1 point ahead of you.
It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I love how you think, and actually, you and I have had lots of discussions about business over the years, and we're very, very happy with you joining us today. So the last thing I'm going to ask you is your vision for 5 years for SUDS. What's it look like in 5 years, or do you know yet?
All I know is that I've got a family involved.
Yeah.
My daughters and son-in-laws that have come along now, and I'd like to start thinking about transition in terms of the
as you get a little
as I
older.
get a
Yeah.
little bit older.
Yeah.
And I received a letter from the government last month asking me when I wanted to start taking my.
Pension.
Pension.
I know. I've had one of those.
That was quite shocking to me, and I just sort of tucked it away. So my point is, I need to think about that.
Yeah.
We want to continue to, always expand our services.
Right.
And we're like, you may not think about it as a customer to come there, because sometimes you're there and we're busy and a long line up and you're this long, but every day, we're trying to shave a minute here, a minute there, and improve our cleaning process by shortening the length of time that we have your vehicle without,
That's-
right? So every day we're working on that. So in 5 years, I hope we're doing twice the job in half the time.
Hey, Kirby, I've known you for a while. I don't think you'll ever retire.
Oh,
Fully.
yeah, no, the day-to-day stuff,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But right now, I just...
A little more time on the boat, maybe, eh?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Hey, listen, you're one of my favorite people, and if the folks out there need to come by. If they haven't been to SUDS, they need to get there. I appreciate you coming in for the chamber chat today. Thanks so
It
much.
was great. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Right on.
Take care.
Thanks.
Chamber Chats is produced bi-weekly by Skycron as a service to the Regina business community. We produce many series, including the television series Go Nitro for NBC Sports, CBS, and Fox, as well as corporate videos, events, and live streams, all right here in Saskatchewan. We can do the same for you. If you have a video project for your organization, call us at 306-720-0097, and let's get started on your next project.